Hello, I'm Katrina Skepper and welcome to VIP. Tonight, I'm delighted to welcome onto the show one of Europe's major female chart acts, Eternal. Their mix of rhythm and blues, soul and pop songs regularly place them at the top of European charts. Here they are now singing their massive #1 single, I Wanna Be the Only One, from their greatest hits album. Well done, girls. And I should say thanks to Ian Pitter as well, since he contributed greatly to that sound there. Thank you. Come sit down. I'm going to just clarify for anyone who doesn't know, Kelly, Esther and Bernie, welcome to VIP. Now that song is one of my favourites. It also must be one of yours because it was your first #1 hit.
Yes.
Was it something you just thought, well, it's going to happen? I mean, we've had so much success.
When we was actually sitting in the car, our manager called us up and he was speaking to Vernie on the phone and he was saying, you're Midweek's #1, Vernie. And she was like, yeah. And then she went, you what? And we're like, what's me on? And then she started screaming, we're #1.
She screamed for ages.
Yeah, we were all screaming in the car and everyone's like, what are these girls on?
It's amazing because, I mean, it's only 4 years since you released your first single. Yeah. And it was, I know you prepared a great deal for about a year or two, didn't you, before you actually launched your careers. Yeah. Why did you do that? Was that because you wanted to get the dancing right, the singing right? Why did you prepare so much?
Well, the first year was kind of spent... well, Dennis kind of found us at different times. Kelly was the last member in the group, best mates with Louise in school.
Who's since left, yeah. So you two obviously are sisters, so you knew each other.
Yeah, just a bit.
Yeah. And then once you were put together, you decided that you had to sort of obviously get a shape or a form together.
Well, if we wanted to be a group, it wasn't a case of you're a group. It was, do we get on? Yeah. Do we like each other? Yeah. Do we want to be a group? And that was the first year, going to the movies and just being friends.
Bonding.
Basically. Yeah.
Bonding. And presumably working out your dance routines and the kind of music.
Vocals.
Had you all had the similar musical influences and backgrounds? Because I know you both had sort of gospel backgrounds, didn't you? Yeah. What was that, because of your father, who's...
My mum's a pastor, yeah.
And presumably you'd been surrounded by gospel from day one, growing up.
Had to. Nothing else was allowed in the house.
Really?
Yeah. You played anything, be prepared for a smack.
Yeah. What about you, Kelly? Did you have a gospel background, or was it more R&B? What kind of musical influences did you have?
Well, I'd always gone to church. Grandparents were very, very strict about that. So from day one, I always went to church. So that was always there. But musically, I listened to Billie Holiday and Sam Cooke and Bob Marley. They were like my parents' first loves. So obviously, they became mine.
Your sort of #1s as well.
Yeah.
And as the preacher roots, I mean, when you said that there was a sort of strict environment in which nothing else was allowed, presumably your parents have changed their mind about this now since they've seen you become so successful?
I don't know if she's changed her mind, but I think she still thinks it's very much sex, drugs and rock and roll. But I think because of the people we are, we're very strong-minded and we're not easily swayed. So she's realised that, you know, we'll never get into that. So she's accepted it in that sense.
Do you think, I mean, the image that you portray, certainly on your videos, is very raunchy, it's very sexy, you wear wonderful clothes, you dance in a very sexy way. Do they approve of that? Yeah. Come on. You can't fake that innocence on me. Yeah, I noticed the odd little flutter about that. But I mean, that's obviously a part of the marketing that you have, and you feel comfortable with that, presumably.
No.
What, you mean you're shy, are you, Kelly?
No, I don't know. We're not shy. No, we're not shy, but I don't... sex was one thing that us guys were like, we're not really into that kind of stuff, you know, we'd much prefer it to be focused on the music. But Powerful Woman was so much about being an individual, strong, independent woman. And the director, Randy St. Nicholas, came up with the script and everything, and we all sat down, and the stylist was kind of pushing all of these skirts our way, and we were kind of pushing them back, you know. So it took a long time before they actually got us in the clothes. But it was just for that video, just for the theme of the whole album and the song. So not something that we'd kind of go, you know, that's what we're about and that's what we want to be marketed towards, because no.
Bernie, I wondered about the songwriting. How much of it do you do together? How does that take place?
We used to do a lot as a group, but now I kind of got my own studio at home, and I suppose because Kelly doesn't really live near us, Esther comes round, she lives down the road from me, and we kind of work as a team. But we tend to write a lot for our own album. And the last album, we as a group, Kelly had 2 songs on there, and me and Esther 3 or 4, and as collectively about six songs on the album. So
that must be wonderful, because I mean, quite apart from having the talent to sing, to be recognised as songwriters has got to be really important to all of you. What about controlling your I suppose artistic destiny? Do is it firmly in your hands? I mean, Esther, yeah?
Definitely.
You said we're strong women. I wouldn't want to mess with you. Whatever you say goes.
Definitely, we pick the producers we want to work with. Every album that comes along, we give a list of producers and writers that we want to work with, and most of the time it actually happens. And like Bernie says, we write most of our stuff, and then when it comes to videos, sometimes we script our own videos or add a little extra into it. We pick our own director.
Got pretty much everything.
Yeah, we pick our own photographer.
Image. I know Kelly was going to design clothes as well. I mean, a lot going on. Kelly, you mentioned this power of the woman thing, which, I mean, in a way, it's been very much a 90s theme. I'm thinking particularly because of the attention that girl power's got with the Spice Girls. Do you think that's helped at all, Kelly? I mean, with the idea of Eternal as a strong girl group.
Obviously, I don't know how Spice portray girl power. I know how we wanted Power of a Woman to be perceived in the industry, because a lot of the time women can be exploited sexually, and that's it. If you've got a cleavage out, then your record will sell, and if you don't, it won't. That's what record companies tell you, and we're like, I don't. I mean, people can be as blatant as that. When we were doing a shoot in the States, they were saying, no, you have to show more skin, and we were like, well, actually, no, we don't. We've been fine, we've been successful without it, and we don't choose to go down that line. So that's really what we're about, and we've proved it. We've had like 15 consecutive top 15 hits.
It's incredible, and these multi-platinum. I mean, platinum. I have no idea that. So for me, that means they're there to stay, as it were. But I presume also discipline is been a key for you three. Esther, I know I get the impression that you sort of boss them around a bit.
You pick on me. Did I say something wrong in the green room today?
Presumably, between the three of you, you have to be quite disciplined, don't you, with your fitness, your health, your work schedule. She's not going to answer now. She's going to be really difficult.
Yeah, we are. I think for sort of workouts and stuff, I'd say Kelly's more disciplined. I think when it comes to vocals and arrangements and things like that, Vernie's more disciplined. I think we all have our different ways of sort of saying, sort yourself out, really.
Yeah. What about coordinating your lives? Because obviously setting tour schedules, which, and recording schedules, it's very busy. Does that allow you time, for anything else, really?
I think it's a case of making time.
Yeah, you make the time.
If you're doing a TV and it's like from 5 till 10, then, maybe before 5 you'll go and see your family, or you'll go and pay your bills, or you'll clean your house, or whatever it may be. But usually our manager sort of takes control of that side of things.
And Vanny, what would you say would be the key to the success that you've had, the continuing success that you've had?
I don't know, if we knew, gosh, we can definitely say that Eternal would be around eternally.
Yeah, it's a good name for you. I mean, it turned out well, didn't it?
It has turned out well.
quite a risk, I'd have thought, with your first record.
Well, yeah, when we first heard Eternal, we was like, oh no, we can't come out with the name Eternal, because people are going to just think we're really facetious, and we think, oh yeah, we're the next great thing.
That's a big word, Bernie.
Thank you.
Sorry, sisterly love there, you see.
She swallowed the
But
dictionary.
it's kind of worked to our benefit, and fingers crossed. I mean, we kind of relate the name Eternal to our music, because we feel that, what we try and achieve is to make great songs. So,
Timeless songs,
yeah,
too.
songs that, you see Sam Cooke singing and people want to re-record them. Those are the sort of songs that we want to record. So Eternal will kind of relate to the music.
Well, I'm glad to say that you're staying with us for the moment. Maybe not eternally, but you're here. And so don't go away. Thanks to Eternal. Another song and more conversation right after the break, so don't go away. Welcome back to VIP, where I'm in the company of one of the greatest all-girl chart acts of recent years, Eternal. They'll be chatting more in a moment, but for now, another song, Angel of Mine. Come on, girls. After that angelic sound, Angel of Mine. It is extraordinary because a lot of people will question the fact that you've got this wonderful album, the best of Eternal, and you've only been going 4 years. Why did you choose to do that now, Kelly? You may as well kick off with this one.
Oh, girl, you got me unexpected. I don't. People, say, oh, does this mean you're going to break up, or does this mean it's the end of Eternal? And we're like, please, we just feel like we've got so many hits, and it's a really great time. We did market research, and everything that came up was so positive. And they always said to us, if you've got 3 songs that are over like 60%, that 60% of people actually like them and know them, then great, go ahead and do a greatest hits. And all of our songs were like way over 60%. So
I have to say, I think it's very considerate for us fans, because it means we might have bought the 4 albums, or rather 3 albums, and the 4th is coming next year. But we quite like to have them all, the nice songs, on one CD. So it's great. Now, didn't you know? Can you see me bopping around there in the background? Now, presumably because there are some of your older hits, they feature also Louise, who left you in '95. Yeah. And you were great friends because you knew each other before, didn't you?
Yeah.
And from school. Was it difficult for you guys when she left? Because obviously the press were going to speculate that this was going to break the breakup of Eternal, and yet both of you have managed to forge very successful separate careers.
I think that the press still speculates. You're like 2 years down the line and you still get the same question: do you get on? Are you friends? Do you still see her?
And the answers?
Yes, yes, definitely. Yeah. I think we're just really proud that she's doing well. I think when Louise was leaving, for us, it wasn't like a business thing. It was more emotional. You're losing a friend who you see 24/7, whereas now we see her so much less because she's just as busy as we are. But definitely the friendship's still there, and we're very, very proud of her.
I presume she wanted to go solo because she felt she was going in a different sort of musical direction from you, or...
No, she was actually there when we picked the songs for the Powerful Woman album. Obviously, she wasn't there when we wrote the songs, but Louise definitely likes the same stuff as us. She's always like, usually in my CD collection, saying, Esther, what can I take from you? But she likes the same stuff. She likes the she was happy with the direction we're going in. But I think she just wanted to move on to a solo career. I think everyone in life likes to try something different, or move completely in a different way. So solo was it.
I'm glad you stuck together because you're still producing some fantastic stuff. Now, what about this audience with the Pope? I mean, I've got to refer to it because I think it's incredible. He actually heard one of your songs. This is how I imagine it to have happened anyway. Rang you up, said, look, I'd love to hear you girls live. Come over and sing in the Vatican. Is that right?
No, quite.
What happened, Kelly?
We were actually on promotion in Italy, promoting the song I'm Blessed, and he heard it, his people heard it, and they, as they do, your people call my people, we'll do lunch kind of thing. So anyway, they did, and they flew us over, and we went over at Christmas time. It's actually an annual event that goes on in aid of charity at the Vatican, and there was like the Gypsy Kings and Enya and John Denver and Gloria Gaynor.
Did it feel like a great honour though? I mean, to be there?
Oh yeah. It was great. Like, he presented us with a rosary and a script and things. It was just very different. Everyone was so emotional and crying and stuff, so it was really, really strange.
I suppose you're certainly getting used to these chart successes, but what about, Vernie, the awards? Is it a nerve-wracking time when, award lists come out? Do you you've been nominated, you've won things. Is it important to you?
Yes and no. It's nice to know. Well, yes, in a sense, if it's not voted by the people, that the audience, the industry actually recognise that you're there and that you're doing stuff. But
and that you've got staying power, which not everybody in the industry has.
And then, and then there's the ones that are voted by the people, which are the best ones, the ones that are like heartfelt.
Is your ambition to break? I mean, you've broken the European market. What about the American market? Is that something that you want to, pursue next year?
Definitely. We've just had like misfortune after misfortune. We're now in the process of signing with a new label in the States. So the 4th album is kind of going to be the biggest yet, because the new label, which we haven't signed it yet, so I can't say, but they're like really geared up.
Is it so important just because in terms of expanding your fan base, or obviously selling records, but
we're singers, we just want to get out there and get to as many countries as we can, so it's not from the point of view of how much money we're going to make or how big your fan base is going to be. It just means that how far we can go touring, get out there and singing.
I was wondering, I mean, for you, when you come out onto the stage and perform at a concert, Esther, what's the thrill like? Do you get nervous? Do you love it?
I think on the first night, after you've just rehearsed for the last 3 months in front of a mirror, the first night is like, what am I doing? And you're highly nervous, for real, you're really nervous. But then after a little while, you're like, okay, I know this move, you know, next kind of a thing. But it's so much of a buzz because everyone's like screaming and singing the songs with you. You just want to give them so much. And for me, sometimes by giving them so much, I end up making mistakes. You know, like trying to make a move bigger than what it is and tripping over myself. Or, you know, then singing it.
Adds to the spontaneity there, doesn't it?
You ad-lib and then you end up forgetting the rest of the words, you know, so sometimes it turns out good, sometimes it can be funny.
And just finally, very quickly, what do you say to all your fans who want to sort of know about your private lives? Do you have to keep them at bay? Do you keep the press away? Are you worried about it?
No, I don't worry about it because at the end of the day, I'd like my fans to know me a bit better because obviously the more they know you, the nicer it feels for them. They like to be intimate with the band. So whenever we write things in our album, it's always very personal, always directly from us so that they can understand how we feel about things and what songs we like and what we like to do with our spare time. And we release things like the Greatest Hits video, which is very personal. We talk about, you know, our family. We have our families and our friends there. Things like that.
You all written nice little sort of things to each other and thank yous. What about you? Do you mind the invasion or the spotlight?
I think when you're talking about hobbies and what you like, what you don't like, things like that, I don't mind. But I think when it's a bit deeper, then I think it's like, you know, it's my own personal life.
Fair enough.
I'm here to sell my music, not my body or what's happening personally.
And Vernie?
Same. We're not really people that like to be in the public eye in the sense of our private lives. We tend to keep that at home with our parents and enjoy that at home because it's the only time you actually get to sit away from everything. If you share everything with the public, then you feel like you're always in the limelight, so you can never be yourself. So that's kind of the reason why
I think your public are grateful to you for the music that you share with them and with us today as well. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
To all three of you. And I should say to Ian, who's popped off there. My thanks to Eternal, Esther, Vernie and Kelly. That's all on VIP for tonight. But see you again soon, where I'll be turning the spotlight on more stars from around the world. Until then, bye-bye.